It's Keita Williams, founder and chief strategist of Success Bully. Can someone give me the thumbs up if the audio is working now? Do we have working audio? Okay. Yay, forgive us for the tech stumble. You know, these things happen when you're live. This is what happens when you're live. So, hello. I'm Keita Williams. Like I said, this is the time of year, and I repeat myself, this is the time of year where I want everyone to take an inventory. Take an inventory. I want you to really think about what went really well. Because like we got a few more weeks, we could turn the heat up and finish really, really strong. And if there were things you didn't like about this year, take that honest inventory and what do you want to shift? What do you want to change? And you can get started on that right now. You do not have to wait until after the holidays. You don't have to wait until January 1st. You don't have to wait for these moments in time. If there's something about your business or something about your life you want to shift, you have permission. You have permission to dream, you have permission to take action, and you have permission to still make this last few weeks of 2022 the best year yet. There's still time for this to be your best year yet. And so I just want to encourage you to take action. I want to encourage you to do those inventories. I want to encourage you to spend a little time planning. You know, I know things don't always go according to plan, but a plan that's poorly followed is better than no plan and winging it. All right. Or even a plan that may not yield the results you want, you at least have some working data to tweak from. Okay. So, with that said, I want to remind you all, if you are still stuck at that place where your coaching practice still hasn't made six figures, if you still haven't made that first 100K in your business, you've had a few clients, but you still aren't bringing in 100K, I want to encourage you to grab your tickets. Grab your tickets because we have very limited spots available for the six-figure setup. And that's an event that we are hosting. I think I don't think I've done an event in a while. I don't think I've done an event in 2022 at all. I got to go back and look. But this is an exclusive event where we're going to walk you through the mindset shift that you have to make for that. We're going to walk you through some fundamental pieces that you want to have in place. And then we're going to walk you through the numbers. So what do the numbers look like to achieve that 100K plus next year in 2023, right? So my goal, we're trying to keep this event cozy. My goal is that you all get personal attention, but also that you have a game plan, that you have a written plan, and you don't have to guess every week what you're going to do. You don't have to guess what your priorities are. We're going to lay that out, and we're going to have step 1, step 2, step 3 for you, right? That's what I want you to. I want you all to feel empowered. So if you haven't already got your tickets, Lucille is going to post the event link in the comments. Make sure that you grab your spot for the six-figure setup on December 13th. All right. So, November has been all about the numbers, and so thank you for joining us for this series. I wanted to talk about. I've talked about those vanity numbers that are nice to have but don't necessarily drive your business. I've talked about knocking over that first domino. So owning your interaction, your one-to-one interaction with your potential platinum clients. I've also talked about the one thing that really shows the health in your coaching practice is the number of consultation calls that you have every month. And so how do you get more of those scheduled? We talked a little bit about that. So go back. If you haven't been keeping up with this series has been powerful. And it's one of those things that I wish I would have had access to when I was a newer coach. All right. So make sure you go back and catch up on the series because November has been all about the numbers. And so I want to just kind of kick this off, this last bit about the numbers, because I'm going to share with you just a real simple way to think about 2023. A real simple way. Have you sat down and thought about your freedom numbers? Your freedom numbers. So what are your freedom numbers? So what do you need to bring in? What type of revenue do you need to bring in to leave your corporate life? What type of revenue do you need to bring in to make that big move or to take the leap? Or what kind of revenue or what kind of time investment, like what type of work do you want to do? Or for some people it is a salary number. For other people it's getting their time and their freedom back, right? So maybe they only want to work 10 hours a week so they can spend more time with the kids and spend more time with their aging parents. So what is that freedom number for you? We all have one. We all have one. And so what I'm asking you to do is really follow along here and figure out what that freedom number is for you and write it down. And go beyond just writing it down. I want you to really think about the feeling associated with it, right? That oftentimes we're not chasing stuff, junk, and things. What we're chasing is a feeling. So you may be chasing the feeling of security. You may be chasing the freedom, the feeling of freedom and owning your own time and that autonomy. You may be chasing and creating a better life for your children or leaving a legacy. You may be chasing having your fairy tale life and being able to work from anywhere. So it's oftentimes that feeling that we're chasing. We're chasing the feeling of adventure. We're chasing the feeling of security. We're chasing the feeling of being a good provider, being, we're chasing fulfillment. We're chasing contentment. We're chasing wanting to be of service, right? We're chasing it's not necessarily the material that we're chasing, it's the feelings associated with it. So besides, figure out what it is, but also take time, write it down, and really think about what is your life going to look like and feel like when you get there, because like you got to see yourself there. So how do things shift for you? Do a visualization exercise. How do things shift for you? Okay. And so, first of all, again, identify what I'm asking you to do today is identify your freedom number. So, if it is a revenue number, if you're looking to replace your salary, what I want to encourage you around is the idea of 2 to 1. And so for a coaching practice or even like consulting some service-based businesses, you got to bring in double the revenue so that you can pay yourself and cover your overhead, right? So that's just a good working thumb. So if you're looking, let's do some real simple numbers. If you're looking to bring in, looking to pay yourself 100K, you're looking at 200K in revenue. That's what, and that should cover taxes. That should cover cushion in the bank, that cover, if you don't have a big staff, that's if you keep you get a VA, that should get you where you want to go. Or if you're thinking about your freedom number is about the amount of time you're working, I want you to think about like how many staff members do you need to have, or what sort of systems do you have to have in place? What sort of programs do you have to have in place so that you can only work that 10 hours a week? Kind of think through what do you need there. So identify it and then really kind of think through the process. So if your freedom number is solely cash driven, whatever it is you need to take home to feel successful, to feel comfortable, to have the life you want, double that. So double it. That's the amount of revenue you got to bring in to pay yourself that amount, right? If it's time spent, I want you to think about what kind of team do you need to have in place so that you can work that 8 to 10 hours a week that you're looking to do and still scale your business, right? And so the next thing with that freedom number, I want you to think about a timeline. I want you to think about a timeline, right? So what do you think, how long it's going to take? How long do you think it's going to take you to get there? Or how long do you want to give yourself? How long do you want to give yourself? If you're thinking that you want to do that in 9 months, good on you. That is totally possible. I think when I finally made up my mind that I was done with corporate, I did it in 8 months. There was some planning and there was some things that had to get into place there, but it did not require 2 years. It didn't require 2 years. Now, you may want to be in a position to make a decision in a year, but maybe your stock doesn't vest until you're there 3 years. So you always want to have the option. You don't necessarily have to quit in a year. You just want to be in a place where you're replacing your corporate salary. That's fine. I want you to And think about that time frame. And then I want to encourage you to add 90 days to whatever that time frame is, right? Because your business is always 90 days ahead of you. So it's going to take you 90 days to even get your rhythm. And it's going to take you 90 days of making those shifts and taking that consistent action before you see the payoffs. So if you're thinking 9 months, give yourself a full year. If you're thinking a full year, then give yourself that 15 months, right? So just knowing just the cycles and natures of business, if you start making changes and start implementing right now, if you start implementing right now, it's still going to be 90 days before you see any results. Now, I will caveat this because we've had some people that have been participating, participating in our groups, part of our group coaching, that are in our programs. I want you all to hear me on this. When you quit, or you take your foot off the gas, or you stop working on your business because it's Thanksgiving weekend, or you stop completely because you're frustrated, or you have that one bad experience with a client, or you have a really great experience with a client and you celebrate for too long, clock starts all over. So that 90 days of consistent action, whenever you take your foot off the gas, whenever you decide to put it down, whenever you decide to give up and you got to be coached back into taking action, you're starting your clock all over at 90 days. That clock resets. So every time you're too busy, every time you're too frustrated, every time life gets too complicated, you stop completely, you come to a grinding halt. You got to jump start again. We got to jump start again. And that starts that clock over at 90 days. And so I just want to manage your expectations that, you could take radical action now through the end of the year. Don't be surprised if you don't get a client till March, but it'll be less distance between new clients after that. You may defy the odds, and that's possible too. That is possible too. We've seen it. We've seen people come in and in 12 weeks do $30,000 worth of coaching. They were able to bring in $30,000 worth of clients. We've seen it. We've seen it with our own eyes. So, I mean, there are exceptions, but I just want to manage your expectation that your business is always 90 days ahead of you. So just buffer your timeline by 90 days. Okay. And so now I want you to just simplify this. Simplify this. If to reach your goal, I want you to just think about what would that look like if you had 20 clients. If you had 20 clients throughout the year, how do you have to chop things up to hit your revenue goal? If you just cap out at 20, and you can split that 20 across one-on-one clients, groups, VIP days, retreats, whatever you want to do, you can split that across, you can chop that up however you want to. But, if you had 20 new clients over the year, what are you charging each client? What does your average client look like? What would this look like? I had to pull up a calculator, y'all. So let's say you needed to do 300K in revenue. Okay, so you need 20 clients at 15K. Or, again, you can chop that up. Maybe it's 10 clients at 20K and then the rest is all group. So like, I want you to just think about, because I think that 20 clients, depending on how you split it up, is manageable. It's manageable. In groups, you can go groups a lot bigger than that, with some good programming and onboarding and offboarding and touch points along and key milestones. You could go way bigger than that with groups, right? But I think that when you get past that 20 clients, especially if you're working with them one-on-one, it can get tight with more than 20 clients, even if you're working full-time in your business. But I want you to just think through. If you focused on 20 clients, bringing in 20 new clients in the next year, from January 1st, from now till December 31st of 2023. If you all your intention was focused on 20 clients in 12 months, I think that you would see the type of growth that you're looking for. You would have your fundamentals would be secure. You would have rhythm and you would have rhythm and momentum that would carry over into 2024, because everything that you would do to capture those first 20, to get that robust client roster, to get that feeling, to get that real money in, where you can make different lifestyle choices. Like, I think that if rather than focusing on the dollar amount, focus on, I just need 20 clients. I can get 20 clients. You could do, and when you think about it, um, that's what, 5 clients a quarter. You could do 5 clients every 3 months. You could get 5 new clients every 3 months. That doesn't sound as daunting as, I need to do 200K in revenue, right? It's not as daunting. And so, like, when I think through, and of course you may do more than this, you may, you might have some digital products. There's a number of different ways that you could approach this, right? There's a number of different ways you could approach it. But like, 20 sounds a hell of a lot more accessible than 200,000 or 300,000, right? So what does that look like when you think about your freedom numbers? To hit your freedom numbers, what are we talking about for 20 clients? Like, what does that look like with just 20 clients? And if you feel like you want to do 25 clients, what does that look like? So really thinking through, 20 clients, 12 months, how am I going to break that down? How am I going to approach that daily? And I promise you, if you focus on that, like I said, uh, you know, it's the flywheel, where you do enough, you show up enough, you're doing all the stuff, you give yourself, you stick with it, you're not quitting every 3 or 4 weeks, you stick with it and you're consistent. That has carryover into the next couple years, like, because like, there'll be referrals, there will be people inbound requests, there will be, people noticing your content and what you're doing because you're being consistent, right? And so I just want to encourage you around that idea. And I also want to remind you that we actually have a coaching program that is designed to do just that, to help you get those 20 clients in 12 months or less. It is called the Exit Strategy Academy. We are making some updates to it for 2023. And so, if you want to hear more about our 12-month program that will help you get those 20 new clients, I really want you to reach out. I want to extend an invitation to book a consultation call, book a strategy session, see if we're a good fit for you. And you can do that at successfully.com/call. And we're not taking any new students till January. So you can actually put down a deposit to hold your spot in January, right? So we're not taking any new students in December, but you can hold your spot for a January start. So if you want to hear more about the Exit Strategy Academy, again, that's designed to help you get those 20 clients in 12 months or less, reach out. And so once again, I am Keita Williams, founder and chief strategist of Successfully. I am so grateful for each one of you, and I cannot wait to see what you're going to accomplish in these next couple weeks. If you really, put some effort in the next couple weeks, you're going to start, you'll start the new year with momentum. All right. Don't forget to grab your tickets to our event on December 12th, on December 13th. And I look forward to seeing you back here next week. All right, y'all, let's get after it.